Well, welcome guys, thanks for checking out this video. ANBERNIC has yet again released another handheld and is now up for pre-order. So I thought in this video I'll do a little cover up to see what they are delivering this time. Check out the specifications, see what we can look forward to, and see some things that may need changing. Of course, this is just my opinions and I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. I've done some videos in the past regarding these handhelds and I do find them quite fascinating. And it must be harder for newer customers to get on board and find out there's a lot of these out there. So this new one that they delivered is called the RG353VS, and then the other one is called the RG353V. So originally I thought they announced this was going to be one model, but there's two variants of this one model. So there's a bit of a difference, so we'll also look into that. Wait, damn dog's eating my crisp biscuit. I have looked at this previously and I was quite hesitant at pressing that purchase button, but at the end of this video perhaps I might be persuaded to do so. If you guys want me to do a full review with a hands-on approach, just let me know. But now let's head to the product listing to get more details. So we do have that initial discount, so we got it for almost just under £80, which is a good price for these handhelds. £80 is good. I would pick that up quite easily. Now the model it's defaulted selected is the VS. And we do have the variants available with the amount of storage and the colors. So we got the black, which is in stock. Yep, the black transparent. So that is that one. I do already have a lot of these handhelds in black transparent, so I would like something a bit different this time. So we do have the 64. So the price then jumps up to 87 quid. Then the big dog, which is 256 gigabytes. I'm not sure why you would need all that. Then again, PSP ISOs are pretty big. That's going for 106. So you're paying about 20 quid. Yeah, you're paying around about 26 quid, 27 quid for 256 gigabyte hard drive. Now one thing I don't like what ANBERNIC do is pack these with ROM. It does kind of enter a legal grey area, and I rather promote the idea of people having their own SD card and putting their own ROMs that they want themselves, that they've backed up already. Or even a good idea is perhaps they give you the SD card, but just give you a folder structure, so then you can place your own ROMs that way. We got the grey 16 gigabyte, so that resembles the original Game Boy. I didn't have the original Game Boy back in the day as a kid, but I did have that transparent purple, and they do have that somewhere. So we got the white, so they're not available. The grey's available, the white is not available, the purple, nope. And then also the other bigger models not available. And then let's check out the V model. Now the difference between the V and the VS, if I scroll down, here we go. So the VS is the lower grade one, and it's packed with a Linux system and has a 1 gigabyte DDR4 RAM. That's alright with just a Linux, but you can't really run anything on Android, and it does have its limited compatibility. I found them great for older devices, but we need that 2 gigabytes of RAM or more. And then the RG353V has the Android and Linux, so they have an SD card like the previous models, so you can just pop that in to switch the OS. And that does have 2 gigabytes of RAM. Now I'm used to 3 gigabytes now on the Retro Pocket, and I think that's awesome. It just creates more of a fluid, smoother experience downloading and installing things. So 2 gigabytes of RAM is just about okay. So we are losing a few features with the VS model. It doesn't have touchscreen, which is a bit of a shame because everyone's used to touchscreen these days. No wireless screen projection, so you could easily download an app. This does have a 5G Wi-Fi, which is a great Wi-Fi, and then 4.2, so that's just really good for streaming and online gaming. So you should be able just to download an app to do so. And we don't have that new Android front end that they've already announced for the previous Android compatible handhelds. And no Android games, because there's no Android on there. So the 353V, so you can switch between. Let's have a close look now at the front end of this. You do have that function button in the middle. Reminds me a bit more like that Mio Mini that came out. A nice little tucked in start and select buttons. They do look rubber. Pretty nice quality, but we are stuck with a mono speaker, so we're only going to get that one speaker coming out, much like the original Game Boy. And when it comes to those analog sticks, ANBERNIC always deliver great quality when it comes to those, but I can't see how they'll be comfortable on that style using two. One you might get away with. I bet a lot of people do some 3D printing to get the use of that. So there's a full core upgrade now with a 1.8 gigahertz. I do believe now the RG353P does have the same, but I think this is a 64-bit version. so we may get a bit more lucky with some minor emulation performance. And they do have 16 gigabytes of storage built in already. That screen is looking pretty nice, it's almost edge to edge, and I think that's the right direction now we should go with these handhelds. The buttons quality look pretty awesome. Narrow border and widen the view. So we are stuck with a 4:3 ratio, and this is stating that this does have a TV video output, and then by previous devices, when you hook them up to your TV, you are limited to that 4:3 ratio. Not a fan of that personally, because I do like to fill my screen, especially with the selection menu and those widescreen compatible games, but it'd be interesting to see if they can get around this. So there's the front end that is already available for the RG353P. There's quite a lot of these out there. So we do have the SD cards there on the side, so you can switch your OS and upgrade the storage. We do have the reset button, and then we have the power button. So that is not really, so the power button is not really concave, so it might be accidentally turned on. And then the reset button does look a bit tucked in, which is nice. What else we got on the other side? We do have the volume level buttons, which is pretty nice. And I can see the form factor and the plastic quality does look good here, but only can find out when it's in my hands. So of course it's promoting this 5G Wi-Fi, light and compact, so it's pocket friendly. It is stating we got 6 hours of battery life for the 3200 milliamps lithium ion battery. So these batteries I found with the Retro does have a 4000, and I'm pushing almost about 4 hours of gameplay maximum, and the standby is awesome. So I'm not sure we'll be able to get 6 hours out of this. There's the HDMI promotion with connecting your Bluetooth. Now always there's problems with connecting controllers to these devices. I find you have to sync up the buttons in the right way, and it's just a bit of a pain. I've always wanted a dedicated app to make sure that those controllers that you got linked up are just set up properly, but there's always problems. There's the purple one, much like the original Game Boy Color that I had back in the day as a kid. So here's a quick comparison of both these models. Again, touchscreen no for the VS, 1 GB of RAM. The memory is 16 GB built in, and then on the V model we do have 32 GB of high-speed eMMC. So apparently it's got a faster storage as well with the V. What else we got? They like to promote Honor of Kings, perhaps they have some tie-ins with that. So it is a single horn loudspeaker. Single horn? And it can support up to 512 GB. I've never heard of anyone use an SD card that size for these devices. That is overkill. USB charging, I'm not sure if it's quick charge. It does come with a screen projector, which is awesome. Now they have already done some promotional videos as well. So this is one showing that you can use this handheld like a controller for your PC. So this guy is playing the Left 4 Dead and just using this new ANBERNIC as a controller. Not sure why you just would want to do that. Mouse and keyboard for PC gaming. But this is the first time I've seen this promoted as an idea, and I believe they included an update for the previous model, the RG353P. I think it's that one. Sounds cool. And in this video they are promoting better emulation with God of War Chain Olympus. A bit of a pain to emulate with these handhelds because they're just not powerful enough to do so. So this is quite interesting, stating how they are running this. Oh, apparently it's because they're using a newer Linux 64-bit system. And, well, Turtles is great, but what is more pressing is God of War. So I believe they must have a standard resolution with FrameScript to get this working. But again, they don't show their frame rates or how they got the settings on their PSP app. And they're also promoting the idea of 2 players connected with Wi-Fi. Now, I hope there's an app to just make things simpler so you can select which games are compatible. I've never really done that, but it's pretty awesome. So now he's promoting PC streaming with this handheld. It does look pretty great. You are stuck with that 4:3 ratio with that screen. With that 5G Wi-Fi, you're gonna get some decent frame rates and not much latency. And that's that awesome purple one I'm very interested in picking up. And it's promoting that front end that they delivered with previous devices with updates. It is a nice, simple front end. It does need a little bit of work, but as front end goes, it's a very stable experience. And we do have that function button right in the middle, which is nice. Now personally for me, I'm more of a kind of a landscape type of style with a wider screen, because back in the day I always used to play my Game Gear and my PSP, so the Game Boy wasn't really my go-to back in the day as a kid, except like everyone else was playing Pokemon. But that was the model that I had, which was the purple transparent, and that's one I'm quite interested in. Now people already have a compatible, pretty well built device already available by ANBERNIC. Let me just find it. Yeah, the ANBERNIC RG353V. So we do have that little speaker grill and that wood grain effect. So if you have this already, do you need to get the upgrade? Well, you do have that more powerful processor, and the screen quality does look really nice. The one thing that gets to me is this price. Not at the beginning, but at the end when you've got everything selected. So let's try and pick one up just for an example. We do have the VS, which is now complete. Ooh, here we go. So I don't need a big SD card, I've got plenty of them going around. So 16GB, I do have to cover my details up. So at the moment it is £100, probably about $120, $115. And now we got the subtotal of $112. Now when we get to the checkout screen, it does even inflate even more. If you want that standard delivery, that probably could take almost about a month. I've experienced that length of time with 4PX. Then when you get the higher price one, it could take to about 2 weeks to get to your door. But you're going to be costing about $27. So altogether, it's going to be 169 quid for a device that was started off as under $100. But if you guys are interested in me trying to pick one of these up before they all go, let me know in the comments box below. So guys, I do hope that you enjoyed the sneaky peek of this pre-ordered ANBERNIC device already. Links are in the description box below if you want to go ahead and pick one up yourself. So as always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you want support, click subscribe, leave your comments below, and I'll catch you lot on the next video.